Hey guys, it's Casey and welcome back to my channel, and also welcome back to another beautiful dismal morning in my life, because I woke up irrationally angry this morning, and judging by the sideways rain and the howling wind outside, the world does in fact agree with me that today is just not the vibe. Fortunately, I'm currently home alone, which means that there is nobody here for me to direct my misplaced rage at, and so instead I'm going to do what I do best and take it out on my handlers, which in this case means that I'm going to scatter some sciencey breadcrumbs around for them to gnaw on for the next 48 hours while trying to reverse engineer whatever nonsense I am about to vaguely hint at. I'm calling it theory hors d'oeuvres, a little cosmic brioche, if you will. Not enough to satisfy the hunger of anyone of scientific mind, but just enough to be annoying. Which, in my opinion, is totally and completely fair, because let's be real, 99% of people in the modern West are functionally illiterate when it comes to math and science. So, by me keeping things vague and mysterious, I'm not being problematic, I'm just being inclusive. You're welcome. Imagine two giant rivers flowing side by side. One flows forward, the other flows backwards. You can't see the other river. It is invisible and perfectly mirrored. But just know that it is always there, flowing right beside yours. In our river, things grow older. Buildings crumble, stars burn out, people grow up and die. That is called entropy. It's the natural unraveling of everything. That's how time works for us. But in the mirror river, things are getting younger. Not as in like Benjamin Button younger, but more like the entire universe is unraveling. Instead of everything falling apart over there by time, they are instead coming together. That universe has its own equivalent of matter and stars and maybe even people. But from our perspective, it seems like everything is running in reverse. Now, every once in a while, these rivers will brush up against one another, just teeny tiny touches. And when they do, strange things happen. These touches create a gravity that you can't explain. It tugs on your stars and your galaxies like there's something massive pulling on them. Scientists call that dark matter. You don't currently have the scientific knowledge to decode what dark matter is, but it's not a mystery matter. It's just the pull of the invisible river running alongside us. And where those two rivers crash into each other at full force, that's the Big Bang. The entire universe begins in that moment, kind of like when two giant waves crash together and water sprays everywhere. That is the cosmic zygote, the fertilized egg of existence. The theory states that everything in existence was born in that crash, and the next time that the rivers crash together, because they always do again and again and again and again, the next time that they crash, everything in existence currently will collapse into nothingness, and a new universe will be born in our place. The universe wouldn't be able to unravel, wouldn't even have time to unravel, unless there was something winding up beside it. Time doesn't move unless something moves in the opposite way to counterbalance it. The Cosmic Zygote Theory proposes that our universe is one half of a time-symmetric pair of spacetimes, mirror universes with conjugate arrows of entropy. Both emerge from a shared origin point, the zygote, which functions analogously to a quantum entanglement state or shared boundary condition. Rather than a single universe expanding from a singularity, the Big Bang is reinterpreted as a collision or an interface event between two spacetimes evolving in opposite temporal directions relative to their local entropy gradients. Two spacetimes interact through a coupling term. This term represents quantum entanglement or coherence between the universes, modulated by the similarities between their geometries. The metrics are nearly identical, the coupling becomes non-negotiable. These become observational regions, aka stitches, where gravitational influence leaks between the spacetime. Dark matter is interpreted as the gravitational signature of the mirror matter of Universe 1 not interacting electromagnetically with Universe 2, but exerting force via metric overlap. The Big Bang is not an initial singularity, but a bifurcation event. Highest entropy compression at the interface where Universe 1 and Universe 2 begin diverging from the common zygotic geometry. In essence, the Cosmic Zygote Theory reframes the Big Bang as a symmetry-breaking event within a dual metric system. Dark matter is the gravitational echo of a universe evolving in reverse. Singularity is an interface. Great Attractor is a bruise from our last encounter with the mirror universe. To put it in incredibly simple terms for my friends out there whose understanding of physics is about as akin to that of a 5-year-old wild child. Imagine there are two balloons floating alongside one another. We live inside one of the balloons. In ours, things get older, messier, and fall apart. Think ice cream melting. In the other balloon, things happen in the opposite way. Things get cleaner and more put together. Think ice cream unmelting. When these two balloons touch, there's a big pop. That's the Big Bang, when our universe started. Stuff we call dark matter is just the static from the other balloon. We can't see it, but we can feel it pulling us together. I made a gracia for lunch, which remains one of the most delicious meals and nutritious meals in the history of the world. So good. Okay, I am just going to seal in my bed for the rest of the afternoon until the sun goes down, which was not my intention for today, because today was my day off. So I had so much work that I wanted to get through today. I was supposed to start pulling apart more germlines for my bioengineering project, or at the very least, make some real progress on my interspecies communication project, start looking at the prototypes that we're supposed to be working on for that. But today is just not my day. It is not the day for it. It is not the afternoon. The world agrees with me. You can tell by how grey this room is right now. It is 2:30 in the afternoon. It should not be this grey. Yet it is, I'm blue, da-dee-dee-da-da-da-da, outside. So I am just going to lay here for a little while. I'm going to catch up on Girl World, specifically what Foodie Beauty's been up to lately, and maybe even glitter and lasers later. Who knows? We will see where the afternoon takes me. Like, look how bad the rain is here at the moment. It has gotten through my door, and I have 2 doors on this door. I have a security door through there, and a huge-ass wooden door, so it's really bad. Oh my god, it is so cold. It's nighttime. I really wanted to just finish the entire video prematurely and cut it off wherever I last left you, which I think was putting a towel down by the wet door. But I want to establish an opinion, a reputation as a woman of my word. And I said that going forward, we would be doing more of the journals. And so, against my will, not that anyone's really forcing me to do this, but I'm forcing me to do this, I'm going to continue doing the journals. And because I didn't want to do this and I'm lazy, we're just going to do the same one again because it's already on the table and I can't be bothered going to grab another. So, gotta pick this up. See, I'm completely out of it. I'm not even using my mic because I broke the thing on the back of it, so I can't put it on my jumper. But what are we doing today? We are doing the prompt. When you were a kid, what did you do in school holidays? What activities did you used to love but have since dropped? It's a deceptively simple question, isn't it? What did I used to get up to in the school holidays? Like, I'm supposed to answer something basic and nostalgic, like I used to build sandcastles or watch TV and cartoons until my eyes went square. But no, nothing in my life has ever been that neatly concluded to a box. First of all, our school system didn't function the way that yours functioned. We didn't have the same semesters or even holiday breaks, technically. But for the sake of keeping the conversation flowing, let's just say that I had a summer break, and those summer breaks were very, very long. Long enough for everything to change and then change back again. Oh my god, I'm getting like a sty on my eye. How annoying. And then earlier this morning when I was filming my rant about physics, my forehead was bleeding and I was looking at it in the video and I don't know why it was bleeding, but there is like a little cut up on my forehead. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, back to the prompt. My mother loved the sun. She worshipped it like a minor deity. But she hated crowds, which was a bit of a problem because my home city where I grew up was a resort town. The kind of place that was warm and glittery and right on the beach, which meant that every single summer it got absolutely infested by tourists. Like a rash. Like a very loud, sunburnt rash. So every single summer, to escape the crowd surge, my mother would take on a seasonal job working as the site doctor at one of the coastal mines. And every single summer, I would tag along. And that was just my life. So every year, for 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 weeks of summer, I wouldn't be at home. We would be out living along the coast in weird modular housing with other transient families. The miners, their spouses, their kids. It was like this weird little pop-up society. a temporary kingdom where rules were completely different and everything smelled like dust and s'mores. And it was so much fun. Borderline negligent, but fun. I'd make friends with the other kids whose parents were working at the mine, like my mother, and then, like the unsupervised gremlins that we went absolutely feral. I don't know how any of us ever survived a single summer, because what we were doing over those weeks were definitely not OSHA approved. There was this one year that a dead whale washed up, like not on the shore, but in the water, like the shallows of the beach. It was just this disgusting, bloated carcass of marine tragedy. And what did we do with that? We climbed it like it was Mount Everest. We were clambering up this decomposing whale like it was a recess on the moon. It was slick and horrifying and 100%, 1,000% a bad idea. Do not recommend, especially because, decomposing whales tend to attract sharks. That was, in fact, the summer that I coincidentally, well, probably not a coincidence, in hindsight, definitely not a coincidence, but that was the summer that I witnessed my first and only real-life shark attack. And it was gnarly, and it was traumatic, and it was visually grotesque, the kind of thing that you do not unsee no matter how much time has gone past. The kind of thing that lives rent-free in your mind like a slideshow for the rest of your life. Just blood and splashing and chaos and people screaming and shouting. But the weirdest thing about seeing that and witnessing that in the flesh is that afterwards, people just went on like things were normal, and the person died, so it wasn't like a small shark attack. Like, they literally lost their life to it, but there was just a sense of normality. Pretty much like an hour afterwards, people just ate dinner and we all played cards, and we all just pretended that that was not the most metal thing that any of us had ever witnessed in our entire lives. But that's just how summers were for me back then. It was, 5 unrelated children squeezing into one unsupervised hammock to sleep at night because there weren't enough beds to go around. And it was building tree houses out of scrap wood and bad decisions, and swimming in lagoons that definitely shouldn't have been swam in by anyone, let alone us. And it was climbing trees to pick fruit to eat right off the branches with sticky, unwashed hands. It was grimy and it was good. The kind of joy that comes from being young and wild and too unknowledgeable to be afraid. I miss that sometimes, that lawless little kingdom of danger and sharp rocks and sunscreen and too much sand that gets into places where sand is definitely not supposed to be. As for hobbies, I had a lot of hobbies growing up. Some of them, I still hold very closely to me. And a lot of them have kind of slipped away, not through lack of love for them, more through lack of access. Horse riding was a huge part of my life growing up, as was figure skating, both of which are very particular, very expensive, very location dependent. The moment I have access to the right infrastructure again, the money, the land, the garage, I will dive straight back into them headfirst without a hesitation. In fact, one of my most impractical, motivating goals in life is to move out of here and move into a house with a garage large enough that I can lay down a lot of plexi ice so that I can start ice skating every single day again in my own garage on my own plexi ice, because there is no ice rink anywhere around me, which, if you ask me, is a complete crime, a complete and total crime against humanity. Because if there was an ice rink around here, like within a 2-hour drive, I don't even care if I had to drive 2 hours. If there was an ice rink, I would be ice skating every single day. No question. Same with horses. I will own one again one day. I know that in the same way that I know my name. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and it will happen. So I suppose the answer to the second question, what activities did you used to love that you've since dropped, is none. Not really, not forever. There are things that I've had to put on pause, things that I've had to put down, not out of lack of interest, but due to logistics. But I am always ready to pick them up again the very second that they become possible to me. Because I don't think passions disappear, at least not real ones. Sometimes they have to go dormant, a bit like seeds in a drought, but they're always there waiting in the wings to be picked up again and taken with full gusto. So yes, that is the answers to that question, which was really 2 questions, which I don't know why they put them in one page, but they did. And I'm actually quite happy that I answered that, and that was the 2 questions, because it was really nice to look back on the different things that I did as a child. I was really not looking forward to doing the journal prompt. I really almost put it down. But, it gave me an opportunity to reflect on lagoon summers and beach kingdoms and ice skating in garages that don't exist yet. And that has put a smile on my face in a day that is very, very lacking in smiles. So, very happy that I participated in the journal prompts tonight. And that's why I'm doing this, I guess. Anyway, this is Casey signing off for the night. As always, stay weird out there, stay safe, and don't let the balloons touch. Don't go swimming in the river. Don't get bitten by a shark. I don't know. Goodbye.